currency wars debate continues. The G20 tried to put concerns to bed once and for all over the weekend. Did they succeed? What can we look for? Well, Gerald Calente is a trends forecaster, so he's going to look at his crystal ball. Gerald, let's talk currency wars. You've been writing about these since 2010. So where do you think we are now?
We're in a currency war.
We are in one.
They say there's no currency war. Who are they kidding? I mean, look what Venezuela just devalued their bolivar. You saw what happened with the new prime minister of Japan, Abe. Before he became prime minister, he said he was going to force the Bank of Japan to keep printing money and lower interest rates to juice the economy. The only reason the world economies, the United States, Europe, and even China are doing anything is because of all of the cheap money that they're dumping into the system, but they don't call it currency wars. They have white shoe boy names for them.
They call it quantitative easing.
That's right.
Okay.
How about OMT? Ongoing monetary transactions. Isn't that proper?
Right. Well, but here's the thing. Okay, so this is central bank policy, and some would argue the collateral damage is, in effect, competitive devaluations, regardless of what people call them. Is this the new norm, though? Because this has been going on since 2010, and it's likely to continue, these policies.
I don't see it as that. What I see is a replay of history.
Okay.
You had the crash of 1929, a Great Depression, currency wars. There were currency wars. Japan, during the 30s, went off the gold standard, lowered their currency. It devalued 60% against the dollar, 40% against the pound sterling. It was a trade war, was next, and then World War. The Panic of '08, a Great Depression. There's a depression going on in Spain, in Portugal, in Greece, and in a lot of America, in Romania, in Bulgaria, in Hungary, in Slovenia, and now currency wars. I see this as a lead up to World War.
Really?
Yes.
So you think that this will be currency wars that turn into trade wars, that turn into physical wars, a repeat of what we've seen?
Yes.
What do you think will be the next kind of chip to fall?
Well, it's already falling with the trade sanctions and against China, particularly in the solar area, and all the amount of trade complaints coming against China is quadrupled, like within the last year, and you're going to see more and more of it. Because again, the only thing that's holding this up is the cheap money. And now Japan, for example, they've lowered the value of their yen. They've increased exports, but guess what? Now it's costing them a lot more to import everything.
Right.
So these are only financial games. So when all else when they lose all else, they take you to war. It's a repeat of history.
Okay, so you think that that's what's going to happen, which is obviously not a fantastic prediction for folks like us sitting here trying to figure out what to do. But what do you think is going to happen to the U.S. dollar?
But look what's going on, though.
Okay.
There's a war in Syria. There's a war in Libya. There's a war in Bahrain. There's a war in Yemen. There are class warfare in Spain, in Portugal. The indignados taking to the streets. Look at the scandals going on. Elections are coming up this week in Italy. So the world wars are already beginning, and people are ignoring the facts. They cannot sustain this anymore. So what does it all mean to the dollar? It's just going to be one of the other debased currencies. A fan sent me a Newsweek magazine, and from 1941, because I've been talking about this. Here we are in New York. A room at the Waldorf Astoria in 1941, a single, $7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
That's how they're debasing the currency. So it doesn't happen with an inflation of a product cost. It happens with a devaluation of the currency. And that's what they're doing to all of it.